Here we are for another week of fun. So this is episode 12 of Mocking a Mockingbird. I just checked, and the heat index right now is 111. Tomorrow's supposed to be hotter. So hopefully over the weekend, it drops, like 102 or something, and get something going. I'm gonna see what gets done. I don't think I'm gonna explain too much right now. It's too hot. So 12. See what happens. That's the weather update. Yesterday, it was heat index 111 at this time. I told you today was supposed to be hotter. 113. Truthfully, it doesn't really bother me very much. 10 years ago, this would have killed me. We're getting kind of close to the actual finishing. I'm just looking over all the different areas to see anything that's got to get, sanded maybe or something before it. When I look on this angle of the neck, it's the center's kind of maybe a little bit off this way, where it's steeper, on the side here than it is here. Because the way this is, I could blend it into that, would be more natural because of this anyway. And that's probably why I have it like that. So I just got to kind of maybe from about here to here, get it a little more symmetrical. I just do this by feel. I should probably get some of those guides for the different neck profiles, even if it's just to see symmetry, looking at a gap, even if I'm not trying for the profile of the template, but just for symmetry. So I'm going to work this area a little bit. Ha! You guys thought that little screen up there was me doing something irrelevant to the project. That right there is the Mockingbird neck cutoff pencil. Everyone's talking about these mechanical pencils. I just use regular pencil, just keep it sharp. But everyone's talking about it. I got this kit because everyone's talking about it. So I got a 0.5 right here. And if you look, it is a piece of the neck. Blends right in. Where'd the pen go? Pencil. Pretty nice. I guess I could properly mark stuff. I'm not really cutting anything more on this though. Or at least not much. Well, next project, I'll have a pencil from this project. Pretty sweet. Alright, so I'm basically ready to do the frets, level them out. I checked it. I'm not going to sit here and try to get a good angle where you can actually see it on the camera, but I've got it right now. The neck itself is straight. So it's ready to get the tape put on there so I can start the actual leveling. But before I do that, the way I did my fret markers with the lines here that went in, I was hoping that from the side, I would be able to see enough of that, and that would be the side markers as well. So, the lighting is, but it's there, but barely. So, I'm gonna put some dots in there. I don't have actual fret marker material. I saw someone using just copper from copper wire, and shines a little bit. It's a great idea. I mean, the color of copper matches with like every color of wood. I even added copper to my filler. So I'm gonna kind of use that idea for my side dots. I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative on the last three. I can get totally straight in up to the 17 without any interference. I'm gonna have to just go diagonal to 19, 21, 24 and get them in once they're flush. I think, I'm hoping it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna do that because I want to be able to see that. It's just wasn't quite enough there. So not very good at this step, which is why I've really been procrastinating on it. So I'm gonna get these side dots in, then I'll tape up the neck and start leveling. So those dots worked really well. I think it was who I saw do this, it was the big unit. He's the electric guy, so he always had the copper wire. And that's how he came up with it. Material he had. Everyone's got some of that in their junk drawer, so good thing to have. So this is like one of those steps, you know, that's more difficult for me. So, you know, to make a process a little more smooth, you know, and stuff, I've been procrastinating. Been going well. Maximum procrastination. So I wasn't sure how I was going to go about this. What I did, I didn't even film it, but I just found there's like two main frets with the fret rocker that were farthest out. I want to avoid going too deep with the bar. So I'm actually going to start like with 800, just see what that does to the marker, and I'm going to, you know, go downwards instead of starting low and going up. The flatter that I put on the top, the harder time I'm going to have actually crowning them well. So, you know, filing metal isn't my strongest point. So, the less I can take off the frets, the less I have to clean the frets up, the less chances of problems. Which means less problems, not no problems, for me. So, yeah, so I got the tools together, got it taped off. let it sit here a while. So that's how I've been procrastinating. I haven't opened up the sandpaper yet, except for the 320 that I already had open previously, that I'm probably not going to use. So, yeah. Just hang on a bit while I procrastinate. So this has like absolutely nothing to do with procrastination. This is just a good idea. If you open one of these up, the paper's not labeled on the edge, so you got your thing. So if you save that label from plastic, you rip that off, I just stick it to the inside, and then I know what the whole roll is. So, little tip, not procrastination, that's just a tip.
All my dreams had often seen was closing in. Memories in a page of thoughts of all my dreams. Made from pride will not hide you lies inside my brain.
Alright, so I'm getting closer to leveling of the frets. You can see here, got them all marked out with Sharpie. Now, I want to tell you, I got this pro tip that I just want to share with you. And this happens every time. There's a progressive rate when you compare the strength of your right hand to your left hand. So you always go kind of progressive, and there's a little bit more pressure on one side than the other. So what I found, and you're going to have to test which direction works better for you. But the wear of a Sharpie that comes off of the metal is affected by how long it's on the metal. So as you could see, you thought I was just procrastinating, but I marked these. That had to be 5, maybe 6 days ago. And then I moved on. I got more done. So, this is like 4 or 5 days. This is cured well. This is like over cured, So, I progressively went, and that's going to just help even everything out. You won't believe the difference in playability when you take a week to mark the frets out. So that is today's pro tip. Pro procrastination. So, in order to, take my time and, try to avoid going too far on anything, I started out with 600, got comfortable with everything. I saw, I had a little ways to go, so I went down to 400, got it real close, went with the fret rocker. There's almost none left at all. So now I'm going to go back to 6, so I could slowly just get rid of just the final things. So I'm here. I did label, so I know where I'm at. I've got my 4 and my 6. So the 6 is brand new. Put a fresh one on there. Even the cheap guy replaces it sometimes. So, yeah. I also remarked the top of all the frets with the Sharpie. Fortunately for this step, you don't need that progressive cure. I can just mark it, 30 seconds later, I could start doing this. That was just step 1 that you had to go so slow. That was my pro tip in procrastination.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Procrastination Theater. Founded by procrastinating actors, for procrastinating actors. Geared towards an audience that shows up late, takes too long in the bathroom, and always waits until the show starts before they get refreshments. Sorry we're running a bit late this evening, but well, what did you expect? After all, this is the Procrastination Theater, and we have plenty of time until the last minute. You see, we've simply waited till we could wait no longer, and now you pay the price.
Procrastination Theater. theater sucks.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that, sir, but I'm afraid you've waited too long. I'm sure you've been sitting there thinking of saying boo, procrastination theater sucks for a very long time, and now you suffer the consequences for your actions here at Procrastination Theater. I would now like to add at this time that tickets are non-refundable. I see where you think we'd be inclined to notify you of this before you purchase the tickets. But as we say around here, cash in hand before we discuss the plan.
Kiss my ass!
Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse me for one moment while I speak with my assistant.
Fuck you!
Alright, so I think that's gonna be good for that step. Maybe I'll just hit it with 8 real quick, just to smooth it out. And start crowning.
Oh dear. Oh bloody hell. Right.
Come on!
Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I was just informed by my helper monkey that the show has already started. In fact, the handful of cast members that have showed up relatively on time are already 5 minutes into the performance. We will, of course, have to skip around from scene to scene here and there, in accordance as to when the remaining cast members decide to arrive. It seems they've departed on somewhat of a journey to the local bar to get a quick tidy before their presentation this evening. Now, without further ado, we join our cast just about halfway through Scene 3 in this most proud and enchanting presentation of Never Never Land, a Fairy Tale Gone Wry.
Wendy!
So I wanted to get through a couple of them before I talk while I'm doing it. So basically what I'm looking at, this file cuts on one side, the other side is like a safe side. And it also holds you kind of on there, and then if you flip it over, it does the opposite side. So one side is crowning this side, one side's crowning that side. So I marked the tops of all the frets with a black Sharpie, and I'm looking to get like a skinny line through the center of the whole fret. The skinnier the better. So I'm getting them kind of close first. Some are a little better than others. And I might go through get those a little bit better, but I don't want to lose any of the line. If I lose a little bit of line, that means it went lower than I was when I sanded it flat. So I gotta see some. So I'd rather have a couple wide spots than lose that pencil thin spot in the middle. I mean, you roll through it, but either way. So I'm cutting on this side right now. So I'll just kind of just do a little bit. You see it getting shinier. This one actually should.
Any questions, concerns, or comments about Procrastination Theater,
Move the
please
paper out of
direct
the
them
way.
towards the trash can, because we really don't care what you have to say. We already have your money and intend on spending it very unwisely on martinis, expensive cigars, and dozens
Tape,
of
rather.
unnecessary knickknacks. You are, however, entirely more than welcome to stay for the next 5 minutes and watch the stagehands put off cleaning the mess from the last several evenings.
here.
This, as you might expect, is at your own risk,
Over
for
here.
upon exiting you may fall subject to the abuse of high
And then I can roll a little bit inwards too. So you can see a distinct line starting. So I just liked going on one side, going on the other side, get my line, see how centered it is, to see which side to take more off of. So it's pretty wide throughout. Gets skinny at the end there, kind of skinny there. So most of it still needs it flat. Kind of equal.
Hey, it used to. Shut your yaps and file out quietly, you son of a bitch, red bastards.
Oh no, it's a cool.
Oh, the goons never joined us. Oh God, I think they ate us.
That side's skinnier than this side, the middle. And I would say that's pretty acceptable there. You know, once it gets to polishing, it's gonna smooth it out anyway a little bit. So I think I did a pretty good job at that step. It went smoother than I was, you know, as it was built up to being in my head. Like I said, I haven't done this step very often, so this is, I would definitely say, the best that it's turned out so far, as looking, you know, looking at the lines and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything that went overly under, you know. I mean, everything's gonna come down a little bit when I polish, so it's pretty good. Those lines, a couple of them are hair wide. Got a lot of them real nice and skinny. A couple of them just disappear, but yeah, cool. So continue on.
Tell me what you're thinking of. Hell, I see you drown. Who's to blame? Give it a chance. Who's to blame? Are we the same? Reality. Oh, reality. Light 'em up. Reality. Oh, reality. Light 'em up. I see the seas behind them eyes. The paycheck is covered in blood. You make promises with lies. You think you're the only one to blame. You would have changed.
So this went a lot smoother than expected. You know, I was just really worried about this step, like from the beginning, like you do all this stuff and then you screw up the frets, and it's like, I mean, shitty frets, got a shitty guitar. But that went really smooth. I just started working out a plan and just got into a flow, went through it. Seemed everything went well, you know, by looking at, you know, lines and stuff like that. Everything looks flat, everything checks out. I did not for the tape, they don't feel bad. I didn't dress the ends of the frets at all. So I'm gonna have to do that, and then I'll probably just polish them one more time just with the compound. So I'm not taking the tape off now. I think I'm done for the night. So, you know, tomorrow I'll come back just for the final, get all the ends nice. One more quick polish. And then I can take that apart and move on. looks like we made it through another one. We got 12 here, right? Episode 12. So on here, I did various stuff to the neck. I straightened out a little bit of the contour here. This had to get a little bit thinner, more on the outsides, kind of. You got that in. I had to, you know, replay around with that. It was good, but since I was changing the profile, it had to go into that. So I did some of that. Put the side dots on there with the copper, which was a good idea. So they look really good. Then got to the frets. So I was really, I'm not even gonna say, I will, fretting on that one. And done it a few times before, always had bad luck, had to do it more than once, and just, it's, yeah, different tools, different skills. So, for all that procrastination, I decided make a pen. Showed you that earlier. And I don't know if you saw that second, you know, little sideshow over there, but I was thinking I need like a logo, so that's Mr. Bubenga. We'll come a little closer. So there we go, Mr. Bubenga. It's not very clean. I had a little issue with the file, but got real thin there. Something didn't fit. I got to figure out what the problem was. So I just did some filling for now, just to get the idea. But I don't know. I think this would be pretty cool. I just got to test if I could do inlays on that side. As long as I got the file right, then I can put it on the guitar somewhere. I mean, everyone wants that on the guitar, right? I would. So. Yep. So, then I started on the frets and just decided to take my time, just go a little bit slower, don't start too fast. So, you know, I mean, you saw me marking, you know, a couple at a time. Days went by, you know, nearly like a week. But I think that really helped. That really helped, you know. Maximum procrastination, you know, gets the job done. Eventually. So then I started doing it and everything just was going smooth. And I was doing it and it was just, everything was working, and like I checked afterwards, obviously, you know, with the straight edge, you know, and the fret rocker, and I can't find any issues. If anything, now that I look really close, even though I polished it a second time, I didn't show you that after, you know, rounding all the edges of the frets. And I polished it again, and once I took the tape off, there's some marks in the metal a little bit, you know, I mean, like, you're under any amount of magnification and get close, you can see it. From here you don't, so I don't know how good do I want to get it, but I might want to polish those a little more, who knows. So anyway, besides that, I mean, obviously I got to re-drill this hole. I've got to do my furls back here. I didn't get the magnets in those covers yet, but basically once I get those couple things, I got to make a nut still. Then we get to finishing. And I've really enjoyed making these videos. I think I could drag finishing on for maybe like 3 more episodes. You know, I don't want to, you know, put out the last episode and then like, what am I going to do? So, got pretty good at procrastinating. I could just go a little slow with finishing, you know, keep this going a little bit. So I did have a couple people mention in some comments asking if I was going to keep this going after the GGBO. I know this isn't the last episode, but I'm just going to say I am going to keep it going. The next project after this, I'm just going to say it's going to be Van Halen inspired coffee table. No paint. I got all the ideas in my head. Most of the ideas. Maybe more ideas than I need. I've seen some of these episodes. So, it'll happen how it works. So anyway, if you're just searching GGBO to find me, you know, you're going to have to subscribe if you want to see the non-GGBO stuff. So, just want to say that will be coming. And, yeah. Do another coat. Oil on the neck. Yeah. So I think it's just getting ready for finishing. I have to do a couple things. And I'll find a couple more things. Maybe a couple more. Episode 12.